Back a year or so ago, when EA lost their exclusive license to Star Wars, and we got to see some of these other companies like Ubisoft announce that they were making Star Wars games, EA was like, we're still going to make Star Wars games too. But other than Fallen Order 2, we hadn't really heard anything. And I think Fallen Order 2 is a game that people just automatically assumed was coming, and there will also probably be a Fallen Order 3. So today, in the big news, EA came out and they announced 3 Star Wars games. Well, again, technically 2, because we already knew Fallen Order 2 was coming. But yes, they announced 3 Star Wars games, the confirmation or reconfirmation of Fallen Order 2. They announced that Respawn is also working on a shooter Star Wars game of some description. And the third one, and this is maybe the biggest shocker of all, please be something good, please be something good. They announced a strategy Star Wars game that is being made. So kind of just jumping back to Fallen Order, according to all of the industry insiders that are out there, they're all pretty much saying that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order 2, or whatever they're going to call it, I think that they should call it Star Wars Jedi Knight Fallen Order, and then the next one is Jedi Master. You know, it'd be a good theme. But they're all saying that Fallen Order 2 is going to come out this year. The only thing that would delay it is if there's something going on with COVID and remote working and that sort of thing. There's also been some pretty strong rumors out there saying that we will see our first look at Fallen Order 2 somewhere probably around Star Wars Day. Because right now they apparently have nothing lined up, and that's what they're going to launch with. And then at EA, or I guess I should say E3, or the EA press event around Summer Game Fest, E3, is maybe where we'll see it again, along with a fall release date. So let's go ahead and talk about the second one, which is probably a bigger story, and the fact that they are indeed working on some sort of first-person, third-person shooter. Now, of course, Respawn is famous for the Titanfall and Apex Legends, so they know how to make shooters. If there's anybody who has not played the Titanfall 2 campaign in particular, it is one of the best campaigns to come out in the last 10 years. And of course, Apex Legends is getting massive success. One piece of chatter that I've seen like all day on Twitter is what is happening with Battlefront 3. And according to, again, the industry insider info that is out there, a deal was pitched by EA to make a Battlefront 3, and it was rejected, essentially. So Battlefront 3 at this point is basically dead. Maybe at some point down the road, a studio will come along, whether it's DICE, Respawn, or whoever, and will actually make a Battlefront 3. But at the moment, looks like as far as an actual shooter, this game from Respawn is probably going to be the next one. It also appears that this game is pretty far out, so they probably have like concept on it, and that's about it. What we will probably see, I mean, Fallen Order 2 is going to be the next big one released, in addition to Star Wars Hunters, which is a Switch game, and mobile. Then I think we'll probably see the Ubisoft game, and then that's where you try and figure out, is the Tactics game coming out then, or the Star Wars Eclipse from Quantic Dream, or, which one's coming out. So very interesting news on that. And then the third one is some sort of tactics strategy game. Now, one really interesting piece on that is you guys might remember, and I'm pretty sure it's the last time we did a news segment, I mentioned, there was a new studio that was formed from Civilization and XCOM developers. Turns out that's the studio that's going to be working on this. So that is BitReactor, and so they're basically working hand in hand with Lucasfilm Games and Respawn on that tactics game. Now, there was an interview that was done with the co-founder, CEO, and creative director of this BitReactor, because, of course, the first two things that pop up including myself, I'm like, Galactic Battlegrounds 2? Or everybody else is like Empire at War 2. And apparently in that interview, he straight up said, we are not doing Empire of War 2. So they could, in theory, still be doing Galactic Battlegrounds. But I also think that's not going to happen. According to the info that is out there, they are actually going to be doing XCOM Star Wars, which I am totally okay with. Like, XCOM 2 already has, like, so many Star Wars mods. You might as well just make the game, right? So I really hope they make it just like XCOM 2, except for, and I guess the real question is are you going to play Empire or Republic? Because if they're going to craft a big story, they're going to have to choose one or the other. I would imagine they're going to go Republic, and then hopefully just have like a bunch of different classes. And then, you know, chat, I can just name you guys after Republic soldiers and get you killed off. So that'll work. But you think like a sharpshooter or a rifleman or grenadier, stuff like that is how I imagine they're going to go with this. But no, it was just a pretty good shock today that they made this announcement and they're like, yeah, 3 games. And everybody's just like, what? Really? And it's also been very interesting because you would think an announcement like this is something that they would have saved for like an E3 or a Summer Game Fest or a big show of some description. But there's been a lot of chatter about that as well. And that also kind of goes back into some of the other announcements we've already seen this year. And that is there's a worker shortage in the gaming industry. And so they want to get the info on these titles out there. And then again, if you've been on Twitter today, you have seen the story of this announcement and other announcements have come out. And then you immediately say, or you immediately see them say, we are recruiting for these games. So that's been very, very interesting. But I'm sure, you know, like all you guys, we're all big Star Wars fans. We're getting a lot of games being announced now, which is really, really cool. And the other thing I can do here super quick, assuming that I can find my updated list that I put out earlier today. So basically, here's the current list of all the known Star Wars games that are being made. So Respawn, Fallen Order 2. Respawn, unknown title, shooter. Respawn, Bit Reactor, unknown title, strategy. Ubisoft Massive, unknown title, but it's probably going to be something like Division. You've got Star Wars Hunters coming out, Quantic Dream, which is Star Wars Eclipse, Asper KOTOR Remake, and then TT with the Lego games. So very, very cool stuff. But yeah, cool announcements today. And we'll see what we actually get to see this year. What gets announced, what gets shown, what actually comes out. It's going to be very, very interesting. But with that, we'll go ahead and do it for this video. So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.